Welcome back to Dadventurous.
That's right.
We're back for another week.
The podcast you barely could wait a week for is back.
Mm-hmm.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was trying to say. We're back again. Yes, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for joining us.
Wait, were you continuing something?
I was waiting for you.
Oh.
I was like, did you say we're great?
Well, I said we're, and then I was like, I was gonna say like grateful, but then I was like, but that's weird. Like what did I start it?
We're great.
Yeah. That's up to personal opinion.
Yeah, and on that personal opinion and topic, the story is going to continue, and I think it's pretty great so far. So hopefully you guys are enjoying Mel and Mirelight and Marv and all the M's that are associated with this place.
Wait, is there any more M's?
Marlock.
And Mistbank.
Ah.
Oh, and Merkborough.
And Mama Gloomrage. Apparently I like M's.
Wow.
So without further ado, are you ready to meander into this mired mystery?
I do believe I am.
All right. I'll leave it to you, detective, private investigator. Take it away. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Dadventurous.
Armed with more leads and perhaps a way forward into this case, I had set out on the morning towards the district of Merkborough. Got the name for a second. Looking for one Plobert Quilby, who, if my memory serves me right, had some connection to the Mirelight Gazette, the newspaper running through town. As I entered Merkborough and waded through the smoggy streets, I had met an old acquaintance of mine, one Skippin Florentine, an aspiring reporter with, he'll get there eventually. But I told him that I needed to get into the paper, and so he led me towards the headquarters of the Mirelight Gazette. Kid offered me a appointment, went inside, but I caught news of a fire that had slowly begun to spread within the building. None other than Plobert Quilby ran out, but I decided to go in because Skippin had not come out. I found him, eventually, in the room where the fire started, but it seemed that something more lurked in the smoke.
Wonderfully done. That is where we find ourselves now, resetting the scene. This is a big room, 2 large printing presses, probably like 20 feet tall, 40 feet long. They have paper swirling up through them and pumping out. One of them is off right now. And then the other one that is on is currently like pumping papers out so fast that they're starting to fly around the room. They're starting to cause sort of chaos.
There's no one manning it?
There's no one manning it.
Oh.
The smoke has filled the room. You covered your mouth with a cloth.
Mm-hmm.
The machine is whirring intensely, grinding and clunking. It sounds bad. Doesn't sound great. And smoke is pouring out of the top of it, but as you saw last time, there's more than just the smoke here, and a figure that was on top of the printing press unfurled its claws and legs and formed into sort of a crab-like horse-sized beast.
Ew.
And started to crawl your way. In this moment, I want you to... We're going to roll initiative, not necessarily for combat, but for who acts first here.
Okay.
This thing you called out to Skippin, and Skippin said, "Extra, extra, boy trapped under printing press."
Burning printing press, yeah.
Yeah, burning inferno or whatever. So we're going to do an initiative roll to kind of see how this battle /encounter is going to play out.
19.
A 19. I did really good, but I didn't do that good. I got an 18. So,
Oh, wow.
Close, but you are able to act first. The room, again, is big. The printing press, there's enough room underneath it to obviously have Skip in there. The smoke is heavy and thick here. It's going to be kind of hard to breathe. This is kind of up to you how you want to skin the proverbial cat. This thing rushing towards you is larger than any of the gloom spawn you've dealt with before. I think Marv's going to perk up in your head, the sword glowing softly, and he goes, "Oh, boy, kid, I don't know how I feel about this one."
I think I got it.
Okay. And it is your go first. You will be dealing with increasingly dangerous situations, so combat is not necessarily the only route here.
Mm-hmm. So this thing is coming towards me.
Mm-hmm. I'd say right now it's about 40 feet away from you, crawling your way, and it's a little bit above you because of this angle of coming down the printing press.
Okay.
And there's a small hole in the roof where some of the smoke is escaping, and you did hear sirens, alarms and stuff going off, and you know that more than likely someone's on the way, but you don't know how long.
All right. Oh, and some of Brixley's mechanics were outside, and they've got a fire force. But
yep, you think that you probably have some time, but so it's up to you how you want to handle this. I just want you to know that combat doesn't necessarily need to be the only route. There are some different skill things that you could be doing.
Okay.
It is up to Mill.
I think, seeing that this thing is a bigger gloom spawn, I think I am going... Is it like bright in here because of the fire?
So why don't you make a perception check for me real quick?
Okay. 10.
10? You don't necessarily see fire. You see smoke.
Oh, it's not on fire.
Not necessarily that you see. So, and I think that is something you catch slightly, but it's more like the machine itself is overworking right now. Maybe a fire might happen, but it's actually just filling with soot and smoke in this room. It's not necessarily a fire.
Like when an engine overheats and you get that burning feeling, but it's not.
So
sparking.
as of now, you don't actually see flame. You just have a room full of smoke and chaos.
Okay.
And papers flying everywhere.
I am going to, I think, just for Mel, just kind of as a preemptive action, as bonus action, I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I am going to, I think, kind of hold out Marv's sword.
Okay.
And focus on it and focus on that gem. And I actually want to send a little bit of that magic over to this gloom spawn. And I'm going to cast a Hexblade's Curse on this thing.
Nice. Hexblade's Curse. The Hexblade Warlock coming out.
Oh, sorry. I move 10 feet forward and then do that.
Okay. What do you think the curse looks like as you cast it? Just out of curiosity.
I think more of that green glow kind of goes into my hand a little bit, and I gather it up and toss it toward this thing.
Okay.
So it's this kind of green glow that goes through the air and hits this whatever
creature.
This is.
Okay.
Yeah. And that means I gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls, and I score a critical hit on a 19 and a 20, and I regain 7 hit points if it does.
Okay.
So,
That's your bonus action.
yeah.
Okay.
Now what do I want to do? I'm 30 feet away from it. I think I want to then pull out my crossbow. I load the bolt, and I'm going to kind of, again, maybe using a little bit of that residual magic energy to light this crossbow bolt up with an Eldritch Blast.
Cool.
That I would like to...
I like to think your sword is in the other hand.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think like Marv's like, here, I got you on this one. And, like magic courses up through your arm, like across your shoulders and down the other arm.
Yeah, and into the arrow.
And into the arrow. Okay.
For
cool.
a 19 to hit.
A 19 hits this thing.
It's not a crit because it wasn't natural.
So the bolt
but...
leaves your crossbow, and it launches forward and collides with this force bolt power. Cool.
Nice. 4. Ooh. 11 force damage.
11. Whoa. Nicely done.
Mm-hmm. I've used 10 feet of my movement, so I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay.
I think.
Sounds wonderful. You are going to, if you're going to stay right there, you just launched a blast at this thing.
Wait. Can I move back, actually?
Yeah, you can move back.
Yeah.
20 feet back.
Yeah, as long as I'm still in the room.
Yeah, you can scoot. Yeah, I think so. I think it would push you, you could either move back into the hallway where you came from, or you could kind of move towards the front door a little bit.
I think that.
Towards the front door? Okay. Yes, you do that. And then, so you're about...
I moved 20 feet away, so I'm about 40 feet away from it.
Okay. So it can't reach you on its turn, so it's going to move forward 30 feet. And then it is going to rear back its head, suck in a bunch of fog and smoke into its mouth, and then activate this smoggy spray towards you that it can do. And so it is going to launch this in a cone towards you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as this blast of hot, heat, steamy nonsense comes your way.
Natural 1.
A natural 1. Okay, so you take, as this thing hits you, 8.
Ow.
Kind of like
8?
Hot smoke damage.
So is it more like smoky than shadows?
In this case, yeah. It's a little bit of a combo of both.
Okay.
But you feel like it attacks your lungs. It's almost like you feel you couldn't close your mouth fast enough, that kind of thing, and you're coughing a little bit. Your eyes are stinging, almost a little bit like a poisonous type of feeling.
All right.
As one might get in a house fire or something like that.
Nice.
And then it moved, it's 30 feet. It blasted that out, but it can't get closer to you. Somewhere else now in the room for their turn, you hear Skip and yell, "Mel, is that you? You gotta get me out of here."
Stay put, kid.
Okay. And you see a flash of color, and you look over towards there, and Skippin has crawled out of the printing press, has his little notebook flipped open and pencil in his hand, and he's watching you battle.
Wow.
Yep.
I give him a raised eyebrow.
He's like, I'm doing what I do best. Okay, it is your turn. This thing is not quite on you, but it is coming your way.
Question, is Skippin under the overheating printing press, or is he under another one?
No, he was under the bad one.
Oh.
He, in the kind of vibe that you got as he came in here, he saw some creepy monster thing and hid underneath the closest one, which is the one that's going bad. So he's not in a great spot.
Okay. How far away is he from me?
He's across the room.
He's like 40 feet from...
he's further than that. The printing press is about 40 feet long.
Okay.
I think he's probably 80, 90 feet from you as we speak.
Okay. If I have room...
Okay.
Is it bright light or dim light in here?
I would say it's just... I would say... I don't know. I guess in the smoke, yeah, it's probably dim.
Okay.
It's hazy. It's bad. I would assume if you're in a house fire, that would be considered like dim light. It is getting thicker as we speak.
Okay.
Just so you know.
I would want to kind of strafe around this thing, and as I do, I would like to cast Shadow Blade on the sword.
Yeah.
So kind of the smoke whirls around this thing, around my blade, and forms into a new spectral edge.
Nice. I kind of have this image in my head of like Marv being like, "All right, kid, I got it." And like he gets that like the shadow kind of voice. He gets a little more like bestial. I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that.
So
yeah.
I like Mel.
I want to move around this thing.
So you're trying to like flank the sides of it. Okay. And I would say you could like, it's a little bit still up on the printing press, but there is that conveyor belt that now that it's down is stopped shooting papers out and it crunched down on the machinery. But there's kind of like a conveyor belt you could hop up on and kind of be at its level.
Yeah, I think I want to do that.
Okay.
And I would like to slash at this thing.
Yeah, get it. And this is crazy damage.
Ooh, yes, it is for a 22.
22, nice. What'd you roll?
An 18.
Ooh, almost a crit. Okay. And then what kind of damage is this? This is psychic damage,
Psychic
I believe.
damage, yes.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I did technically get advantage on it because it's dim light.
Okay.
And I rolled a 19.
Ooh.
With my Hexblade
So
crit.
Hexblade Curse means
Yeah.
you get to do a critical psychic damage attack. This is going to do some work on this thing.
Okay. So the way we do crits for any new listeners is usually is doing the full amount of damage dice that you would roll. So the for full possible amount plus also rolling the damage dice.
Yeah.
So it's full amount plus whatever you roll.
Yeah, just because it always feels bad when you roll 3 1s on 3d8s or whatever, and your crit that's supposed to be amazing and epic
is bad.
Is terrible. So yes.
For that exact reason, because I rolled a 4 and a 1. So okay, 21 psychic damage.
21 psychic damage. Whoa.
Because it's a 2d8.
That is a big hit to this thing.
To slash through it.
Wow, okay. Yeah, it slashes through, I think, a little differently than some of the other gloam spawn you've seen, where you slash into them and they just kind of sort of diminish a little bit. I think this one's a little bit interesting in that it's almost got some form to it.
Oh.
Not completely. Your sword still slashes through it, but almost like it's armored up a little bit or something like that. And this heavy, thick smoke providing a little bit of a natural armor for it.
Oh, and so it kind of, like, does it leave a mark? Do you mean?
Yeah. Well, basically, I just mean like how it feels to slash through it.
It's different.
It feels a little bit more like slicing through thick grease or something, where a lot of the times when you hit these guys, it's about them dodging away and whether you connect and things like that. There's not a lot of form to them necessarily. There's a little bit because they can grab and they can pull, but
they can't.
This one felt a little bit stronger.
All right. But yeah, that's my turn.
21 damage is pretty crazy. So you're top of the turn, so that was you. So now it's this thing's turn.
Yeah. I am unfortunately in melee.
Yeah, and so it is going to scream and stamp its feet in anger as you have done quite a bit of damage to it. And it is going to stamp its feet down, crunch, 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 crunch on the printing press. And you are going to see more smoke start billowing out of this thing.
Out of it?
Out of the printing press. Machine. Yeah, out of that. And
can I shout something?
It's not your turn, so okay. No. But it is doing this big punch down, and the chaos of the room, the smoke is getting thicker. And I think as it does that, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw as the smoke is building and starting to maybe affect you.
Constitution saving throw for a 12?
It's not enough.
Okay.
And so you feel that smoke get into your lungs a little bit more. I think just that kind of the force of everything pushing it, it's pumping that out. And so for the effect of this fight in this moment, you are going to take a little bit of damage. Just 3 damage.
Okay. 3
but
smoke damage.
You are essentially poisoned, and so you have disadvantage on ability checks for now.
Okay.
As the smoke gets into your system, you feel it sting your eyes, you feel it sting your throat.
Just ability checks?
Just ability checks.
Okay.
It's kind of like exhaustion. It's not too bad, but disadvantage on all ability checks for the time being. And there's a chance that it gets worse.
Okay.
And that's this thing's turn. It's going to roar into the sky. And it is going to just whirl around and stay in melee with you, but it used its turn to cause havoc. out of anger.
Okay.
You hear Skippin behind you going, extra, extra, read all about it. Private investigator defeats crab beast in printing press inferno. Brought to you by Skippin Florentine.
Save those notes, kid. Also, save yourself.
You got it.
He
stays exactly where he is.
Yeah, I say save yourself, and then I shout to him, that means move. Go, run.
Make your choice intimidation or persuasion check.
It's definitely intimidation.
Is it?
On
Okay.
Mel's part.
Okay. How serious are you being?
Wait, disadvantage on ability checks?
Uh-huh.
I can't get much worse than what I rolled. I did get worse than what I rolled. Okay. Yeah, I rolled a 3 and then I rolled a 2. 8?
Okay. He stays exactly where he is, and he is just too enthralled with this fight. He's not good at listening.
Okay.
But that means it is back up to your turn, I think. Can you make a perception check for me at the top of your turn?
Added my bracelet still, so 16.
16? You are starting to hear the telltale sounds of the sirens getting closer outside. You probably hear some shouts of people and gears turning, and it seems like maybe the fire brigade is setting up close by. Not know for sure, but you guys are still in here. So it is now your turn.
First I would like to slash at this thing, again with Marv's Shadow Blade. See what I can do for a 19.
Rolled or total?
Total.
Okay. Yeah, no, that thing, that hits for sure.
Okay. For, 10 psychic damage.
Okay. Beautiful.
And then I am going to actually pull my coat around me and cast Misty Step.
Ooh, cool.
I am going to, again, have more of this smoke and shadow kind of fully enclose me, and I poof. And I'm going to teleport, if I can reach it, and if I can't, then as close as I can, to the kind of main part of this printing press. So not the conveyor belt, the...
Above or below?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by the main part? Like, are you trying to be inside of it? Where are you trying to go?
I mean, like...
Totally. Like, what's your end goal?
I mean, like, there's the part that's got, like, all the ink and the rollers and everything, and then there's the conveyor belt.
Right.
I want to go to the big part.
But on top is my question. On top of the whole printing press?
On top of the printing press.
Okay. Then, easily,
Okay.
you Misty Step up. You're basically right in the middle of the machine. Okay, so it turns, its head turns around, but you teleport, and then you still have your movement. So your bonus action to go up to the top, you find yourself on kind of slightly uneven footing. The rollers here are moving, but there's kind of like a walkway between to maintain it, and you're able to stand up there.
Okay. If you would allow me, because I do want to stay up here, can I just make an investigation check on this thing? If I can, to see if there's anything wrong with it that I can notice. Like, I don't know printing presses, but I feel like if there's something jammed or anything.
I will say yes, but you're going to have to take it at disadvantage.
I'm already at disadvantage.
No, I know, but I just reminded you. So yes, you can do that real quick.
Investigation, a 9?
Not really. You can tell that what's happening.
12.
Okay, a 12. You're up at the top here with a 12. How do I want to put this? You're pretty smart a little bit in terms of investigation. As you're looking up at this thing, as you're looking down at this thing from up high, you're going to see underneath of the rollers, there's kind of a space where it seems like you could access the rollers a little bit, and a person could kneel or sit in that area. From this, you don't understand printing presses.
No.
And so that part of it, you're like, I have no idea how this works. But you do see the telltale residual char effect of something you saw in the warehouse and something you saw in the kitchen.
Of a rift?
Of a rift.
In the...
Marked or created or whatever inside this printing press.
Okay.
So I think you see that, but as far as the machine, you have absolutely no clue.
Okay. That's all I do.
You can, I mean, you can just have that if you want to still do an action.
I did. I slashed and then I cast Misty Step. I did 10 damage to it.
Oh, you did. I'm so sorry. That was this turn.
Yeah.
It was just such a long turn. My brain was lost.
Yes, I did 10 damage to the thing.
Okay. So I forgot to mention, as you did the 10 damage, then this thing's starting to kind of look a little weaker. It's starting to slump down onto one leg, but it's still going, and it is its turn.
Yeah, I guess it would be 30 feet away from it because I Misty Stepped.
Yep. And you could have moved still. If you
could I have moved while staying on top of the printing press?
Well, it depends on if you want to stay up top. If you want to stay up top, not really. That's kind of where it is. But if you wanted to go down towards Skippin', you have 30 feet of movement.
Yeah, I'll do that. I want to go down,
okay.
I think.
So you make your way down towards Skippin', and he's sitting there staring up at you with a giant grin on his face going, "You're amazing."
Yeah, okay, kid, you might want to take cover. Why are you not covering your mouth?
As he starts coughing profusely. Okay, this thing's turn. It is going to roar in anger at you, and it is going to crawl along the side of the printing press instead of up and over. But it is not able to reach you. We're going to see if it gets its little spray back. It does.
No.
And so it rears up. I think it points it right towards you, and you have to make another dexterity saving throw as this inky, black, smoky
Which I do not need to have disadvantage on.
No, just ability checks for the time being.
Okay. Ha! I do believe a non-natural 20 dodges that.
Okay, then you only take 3 damage.
Yay.
And you do not have any lingering effects of smoke or poison or anything like that as this builds up. Okay.
Is that the roof? The hole in the roof is still open, but it's
just not
venting
very big.
fast. Okay.
Yeah, it's not venting fast enough. Okay, that's your turn. That's this thing's turn. Skippin' goes, "Oh no, you got a point." And he is going to finally wise up enough because this thing got closer and sprayed towards you guys. He is going to make a dash to the kind of the far side of the room where the other printing press is.
Okay.
And on his way, he is going to grab a bunch of newspapers and cover his face.
There you go. Somebody needs to teach you proper safety procedures.
Maybe we can talk about it when I interview you later.
Sure.
And he slides underneath the next printing press to get out of the way.
That one's not burning, so no. I'm fine with that.
All right. At the top of the round, you start hearing the sounds of the door thudding, and people shouting, and then a thud, and then people shouting, and then a thud. And they're going to roll to see if they break through on this turn or not.
Okay.
Through the front door of this printing press. They do not.
They do not.
No, they got a 10. So they are starting to crack the wood door. Some of the debris has fallen down, blocking it. This area is full of smoke, and it is now your turn.
Okay. I want to shout.
Okay.
Loud as I can, not using any amplifiers, but I just want to shout. To those who are out there, I've got me and a miner in here, but there's a gloam spawn.
Okay.
That's all I shout.
Okay. I think
if they react.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a little perception. Yeah, I think you hear a pause of banging and some discussion happening, and then after a moment it continues to bang.
Okay.
Your turn still is here.
And I am...
This thing is closing the gap on you. I think it's about 15 feet away.
Okay.
With how you moved and how it skittered along the sidewall.
I'm going to take out Marv's sword, I think,
he goes,
and
here we go.
Draw out that glow from the gem again, and I am going to slash it through the air and attempt to hit this thing with another Eldritch Blast.
Ooh, nice. Okay. The
12.
A 12 does not hit.
No. Okay.
Does not hit.
I am just going to move, if I have the space, 30 feet back.
You could go back. There's also going underneath the printing press. You're kind of getting near the edge.
I feel like
it's up to you, but
she would consider that, but based on the fact that it's burning actively and overheating actively, and also these things may or may not be able to phase through objects, I don't think she'd take that.
Attacked you. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you make your move away. Full speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Said it's 15 feet.
He does not get his thing back. And so it is going to use both of its actions, its move and its action to close the gap.
To dash?
To dash to you, but it cannot make an attack this turn.
Ooh. Okay.
But it rushes, it follows you, climbs down off the printing press. As it goes, the printing press kind of continues pushing papers out and starts whirring again and whirring again. Its presence, its weight was kind of stopping the thing from overheating for a second. As it has left the printing press, it is starting to build and build and build. But that is its turn. I think Skippin's going to yell towards you, and he goes, "Can I do anything, Bill?"
Wait, I take a quick glance towards the door where the bangings are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like just a door?
It's like 2 double doors.
Okay.
Almost like a warehouse, like
I say,
swing door.
If you can, go unlock the door.
Okay. I like to think of Skippin as a very, very fast kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that, he could probably get to the door. Why don't you give me a roll? We'll see if if it's above 10, he makes it and unlocks the door. And if it's below 10, he has to do that next round.
Okay. 18.
An 18. Skippin dashes.
Yes.
The fastest newsie kid out there. He takes his little newsie cap, he turns it backwards,
nice,
tucks his journal away, and he goes, "I got it." And he takes off like a sprinter. You see him leap.
How old is this kid? Is
He's
he
like
10? Yeah.
You see him leap over a chunk of debris flying down. A paper flies near his face, and he does like a dive roll out of the way. And he skids to his stop, slams up against the door, and reaches up and click.
Nice.
And unclicks the door. And with that, you hear a loud thud one more time. Only this time, the door is unlocked.
Yeah. One of those things where you ram into a door thinking it's locked.
Skippin goes, "Ah!" and yelps as the door bursts open, and in rush a pretty interesting sight. Those leather apron wearing, but like a uniform. They all have rolled up sleeves. They are all wearing leather aprons. Mm-hmm. They're all wearing goggles on their heads. And they are all holding like wrenches, hammers, whatever. Oh. But these guys rush in. These seem to be members of Brixie's garage, mechanics of sorts. And they rush in all wielding hammers. And then as they kind of come in, you also see a woman wearing a very similar outfit, kind of white hair pulled back into a braid. And she is a very, very dark skin in a way that from here almost looks like stone.
Oh.
Very, very dark. And she is kind of standing there at the front, and she starts gesturing to her people to move around, but that's kind of their action. So, top of the round.
But they see this thing in here.
They do, yeah.
Okay.
Top of the round goes to you.
Right. Now with
And it is next to you.
It is next to me. Okay.
I think as those things came into it, turned and like roared. That roar that in your head should be like a loud scream, but from these gloam spawn is almost like through layers of water, just kind of like muffled scream.
One of those sounds that you can't really hear, but you can feel it.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It is your turn.
I'm going to turn to this thing and...
Marv's going to go, "Steady aim, kid.
Yep.
Think happy thoughts." No, that's not it.
No, that's
Think
that's
angry
different.
thoughts.
There you go. And I slash at this thing thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking back to that raccoon that distracted me and got me endangered by a gloom spawn. So maybe I'm thinking of that. And I take a slash at this thing for a 24.
Absolutely hits.
I'm rolling good this
You get
session.
advantage technically if you want to
No.
see if you crit. Okay.
I did not. But I do 12 psychic damage to this thing.
How would you like to defeat
yeah.
this thing as you have...
Okay, I think she's still got that shadow blade on.
Mhm.
So it kind of blends into this like hard shadow.
Yeah.
Kind of blends into the smoke. But I think she probably holds it out, and as she slashes it through this thing, I think the gem flashes green, and so as she's slashing through, it kind of dispels the shadow blade. But also kind of dispels this thing.
Oh,
as a
cool, like an
slash.
implosion.
Yeah.
So from the center of this thing, and again, it roars that kind of gurgled, watery roar, and whoosh, bursts out.
Nice.
Commotion still happening. You're racked by coughing, and you see that some of the Brixie's mechanics are bringing in a hose, and they're starting to lay down water onto the printing press and kind of smother the smoke a little bit. One of them rushes over to Skippin', scoops him up,
Okay.
takes him away.
Is anyone?
And the lady rushes up towards you. She throws an arm around you, gets your face covered by this like mask type thing, and goes to lead you outside. As she is calling out, she goes, "Oi, you two, get that thing fixed up!" And two of these guys start jumping onto the printing press, turning wrenches, starting to figure this stuff out.
All right.
As she is leading you out, saying, "Oh, get out my way," and that kind of vibe. Two
of course.
MMCD officers, I wouldn't say rush in, I would say they enter,
Enter.
and they look around a little bit.
I've got, you said I have a little bit of a mask on.
Yeah.
I think I kind of duck my head down, instinctual for her by now,
Okay.
just for
checking.
that reaction.
Okay. But they're not paying attention to you, and they look around and they go, "Huh, must have been a machinery accident."
Okay. As they're as the mechanics are working on that.
Yeah, and this lady's trying to lead you out.
Okay, they say that.
Mm-hmm.
Do they leave?
No, they're like standing there with their hands on their hips watching these guys do work.
I think I take a look at them
Okay.
and turn to her and say, maybe through the mask, if can I talk?
Yeah. It's
I
a
say-
breather.
Hey, heads up. Make sure you take a look at that machine.
You say that to her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes, "Yeah, of course I'm going to do that. You don't got no worry about that. All right, come on, get out of here."
All right.
And she leads you outside. And she kind of shoves her way past the MMCD officers a little bit. And outside she goes and she kind of like leaves the mask on you for a little bit. And you get a little closer view of her. She is this kind of older, you think. The vibe is very hard to read.
Yeah.
But this earth-colored skin that actually almost looks a little bit like earth.
Oh.
And she has this white hair. Her eyes are this very, very vibrant green. And she is an Earth Genasi for those D&D nerds out there.
I thought she might have been with that.
And she's about your height, I would think. But yeah, an age that is hard to read. Features that are not often normal, very angular features.
All right.
And
Think as soon as she lets me, I take off the respirator
she
and
pats you on the back. She goes, "There you go, there you go. You doing all right?"
Yeah, I think I am.
All right.
Thanks.
That was quite the kerfuffle you found yourself in.
Yeah, is she Irish?
Yeah, she's something. I'm making it up as
All
I
right.
go.
It's like at first that she sounded like kind of like Cockney accent, but now she sounds kind of Irish to me. I don't know.
She's unique.
Yeah. I say, yeah. I went in looking for that kid, Skippin'. Where is he?
Skipping.
Yeah.
That boy's nothing but trouble.
Always getting into something or other.
And what's your name?
I'm Mel.
Mel, nice to meet you. I'm Brixie.
Oh.
And she holds out a hand.
And I say, oh, nice to meet you, Brixie. I shake it.
Yeah, now that you shake her hand, you realize, like, pieces falling together a little bit. You've probably never specifically met, but you've probably seen her at an event in Mud Market. You've probably seen her fixing, pushing people around to fix up the gondola or whatever, but you've just never needed to have a discussion.
Yeah.
And
I say, you came here with your, to put out the fire?
Of course, this is my district, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure everything runs smoothly. And at about that time, a mustache-clad, plump guy running over in the form of Plobert Quilby.
Not Quilby.
Quilby, sorry.
Quilby.
Rushes over, and he goes, Oh, Brixie, you must be here to fix up that printing press. It just went crazy and started smoking. I can't have that. The papers. How will I sell papers?
I seriously thought he was going to say, what will the papers say? But
Yeah.
he's the one who
He's the one
publishes
saying
the
it, yeah.
papers. I say, oh, yeah, sir. And I stand up, I think, and say, the reason I was here and ran into that whole
And he's a
thing.
halfling. I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
I think I stand up and actually like I was probably at eye level with him, and
Yeah.
now I stand up. I say, I was here, noticed everything, but I was here because I was looking to meet you.
To meet me?
Yeah.
What for?
You
You didn't start that fire, did you?
No, I was following Skippin' Florentine here. Maybe you know him, kid. He works for you.
Of course I know him.
Yeah.
He works for me. He's
And,
the best newsie in town. Sells 60 papers a day.
Really? Oh.
Minimum. Kid's so fast he could sell you a paper in the morning and be back to sell you one by night.
I say,
Which doesn't sound that
no,
impressive.
that's not. I say, but yeah, that kid helped me out of that scuffle. He unlocked the door.
Well, according to these folks, and he points at the apron-clad dudes, he goes, sounds like you helped me out of a situation too.
Yeah. But I was looking to talk to you a little bit about some things that I need.
I think Brixie leans down too, and she goes, yeah, you fought that big thing there, didn't you?
Yeah, I have a little bit of experience with that.
Okay. Despite what the MMCD said there, I don't think it was just a machinery accident.
Oh, yeah. I kind of take a look between these two people because now I've been introduced to another person that I've been meaning to go meet. And I say, Mr. Quilby.
Yes, of course.
I was wondering if maybe I could schedule an appointment, something.
Schedule an appointment?
Yeah, for like
I'm going to be awfully busy. If you got something to say, you might want to say it now because I got a printing press to rebuild. Starting ASAP.
All right. Brixie, if I can meet you later at time.
Yeah, I'm going to go figure out what's going on with the machine.
Yeah.
And I'll see you soon.
All right.
I'll be over there.
Thank you.
And she rushes off.
And I turn back to Plobert Quilby.
Uh-huh.
And I say, is there anybody nearby us?
Not right now.
Okay,
She was kind of, they were leaving her to her devices, and she was helping you out.
I think I sit back down, actually, to
Okay.
be eye level with him. And I say, so, Mr. Quilby.
That's me.
I am I'm a private investigator.
His eyes furrow down. He's like, and what are you investigating?
Well, I got a client asking me about a missing persons case, and as I followed through the case, I've come to the conclusion that I might need to go take this a little bit higher than I thought.
What do you mean?
I take a glance up at the sky and
Yeah, and
say,
I think in Merkborough, I think most of the skyline is kind of back towards
the fence, yeah.
the fens. But yeah, you can see. And
Yeah.
he follows your gaze and he goes,
In short, to solve this case, I'm gonna need access to the skyline. Problem is, I don't
he
have
cuts you off.
papers.
He goes, hold on. He looks around too, doesn't see anybody, and he goes, what has that got to do with me? Who sent you?
I also take a look around.
Make a perception check. With disadvantage.
Hmm?
Because you are still coughing.
I
You
know.
are still...
I still got a bad roll. That's not gonna do anything but a 6.
6? Okay. It looks clear.
Okay. I lean in closer to him And I say, does the name, Lena Cass ring a bell?
His eyes go wide, and he pulls you kind of off to the side a little bit, and he's like, come with me.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk over here. And he kind of leads you back a little bit to a little more of a open section of the street. You could kind of come down this long street.
Yeah.
And his printing press was at the end. Kind of with the sidewalk and everything nearby, he wanders you back a little bit towards the station where the trolley was, and just kind of gets into a more quiet area, a little further away from the wreck.
Okay.
And he goes, what's Lena want you to do with me?
Well, okay, so you know the Cass sisters, right? Lena and Jessa.
Of course.
Yeah, and well, Lena's my client.
Okay.
Lena's the one who hired me.
What's she need you to investigate?
Jessa has gone missing.
His eyes get all dark and furrowed, and he goes, and she wants you to do what?
Find her
From
sister.
me? No, from me.
Oh, well, like I said, I need to find her sister. So I've followed some clues and figured that the skyline might be my best bet. And she gave that. The problem is I don't.
Yeah, okay.
She gave me your address.
Keep it down. I can get you papers.
All right.
They'll get you around up there.
Okay.
But you're going to need to talk to Brixie.
What for?
If you want to go up, best way to go up through her gondola.
Her gondola?
Yeah, she's got one too.
Oh.
She's got a cargo one. Otherwise, you're going to have to go up through the mud market, and you're going to have to deal with the MMCD. I don't know if my papers will pass. That kind of.
They won't pass.
Well, my papers aren't exactly what you would call, and he looks around a little bit, completely legal.
I figured as much.
So the trained eye might be able to spot them, but if you go up out of Merkborough, you'll probably be fine.
Okay, so what you're saying is, I don't think Mel has ever been to the skyline. Or is she, or like if she has,
actually don't think you have either.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been up.
I don't think you have.
You're saying if I can get past ground level security, the ones up there are worse, like, or they just
I'm saying
don't
that
care.
The papers I can get you when you're up on the sky line, you need to pass.
Yeah.
You'll get a little badge, then it'll let you walk around and be part of the nonsense up there. I'm saying that when you get up there on Brixie's gondola, you're going to find a bunch of Brixie's guys working to offload cargo. And
All right.
one MMCD officer who, and he kind of wiggles his fingers and does this thing, he goes, who's easy to convince of things, offering a bribe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go up Mud Market, it's going to take you right on up to MMCD headquarters and the base of the Bridge District, and they're a bit stricter there.
All right.
So if you want my help, if Lena wants my help again, then that's the way you got to do it.
Okay. Insight check.
Yeah, insight checking.
So he had a reaction to Lena, and he seems kind of reluctant.
Mm-hmm.
That what is his kind of like feelings towards Lena and the Cass sisters in general? Insight for a 14?
With a 14, he's gonna go. His reaction isn't like anger. It isn't like, it's not appreciation. Accidentally, if you were to like accidentally spill your drink and then you went to clean it up, and then in the process of cleaning it up, you spilled your drink again, and that feeling of like, not again, kind of more of an annoyance.
He's okay.
Type of vibe.
He's got the not again feeling towards this.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Quoby. So I gotta talk to Brixie.
You gotta talk to Brixie and, well, look, you know Skippin'?
I've met him, yeah.
Oh,
He knows me.
Once they get the handle on this printing press and we can start getting things re-going, he'll meet you.
Skipping?
Yeah. I'll give him an envelope just for you. Look, you help me out here. I'm helping you out. But you tell Lena next time she's gotta pay.
She owe you something?
Does she owe me something?
Yeah.
No.
She?
But tell her we're even.
Okay.
She'll know what I'm talking about.
I think I start if he's...
He says, are you going to be at Brixie's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to her a little bit about that.
I'll have Skip and find you.
All right. You can probably find me.
Yeah. What was your name again? You said you were a private investigator.
Name's Mel.
Mel, look, I don't know what you got yourself into with Lena and missing sisters and all that, but thanks. I owe you one.
For what?
Well, the Brixie's guys told me what you did in there, and MMCD aren't worth much of anything down here, so I just gotta say, thanks. I don't know why that thing was in there, but I appreciate it. So, I'll get you your papers, but that's it. Deal?
Right.
And he puts out his hand.
Yeah, it's a deal.
Okay.
It's a deal.
He shakes your hand, and he rushes back to the printing press.
All right. I think I watch him go.
Okay.
Probably, and talk to Marv a little bit. And just say,
Marv kind of glows next to you.
yeah, I guess we got what we wanted, but this little thing sure got a lot more. There's a lot more strings here than I thought.
Yeah, it's something you can start learning there, kid. Ain't nothing in this city that don't have strings attached. And those strings are often draining out of a bowl of soup.
I think I actually like looked down at the sword. Just like, okay, like your other ones were good, but like that one didn't even make sense.
Hey, my metaphors are awesome.
Uh-huh. Getting a little bit rusty there?
Hey, that's your job to keep me shiny anyway.
I suppose that's true. And I think they're still cleaning this up.
Yeah.
I think
Marv even would like perk up and he goes, well, what do you think our next move is here? We gotta get some papers and then what?
Get some papers, talk to Brixie.
Why does it seem like trouble keeps following us?
Well, maybe we're following trouble.
You hear the nod in the sword as he goes, not bad, kid. Not bad at all. And I think at about that point, Brixie runs back over to you.
Yeah, I think I was probably like
goes,
moving my way back over.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Oh, there, yeah. Well, I got my guys set up for what you need, and sounded like you could use a rest. And Plober told me we needed to chat.
Yeah, about more than a few things.
You been down to the garage before?
No, I haven't.
Well, come on down. We'll get you fixed up and see what we can do about what you need."
All right, and
she offers an arm if you need it, but
I'm good.
Okay.
I kind of like.
I think she kind of like dusts you off a little bit, and you guys start making your way down the opposite end of the street,
right,
toward Brixie's garage. And I think no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, as we leave, just kind of again, this is just I think this is just something she does habitually after leaving every important site. Just an ambient perception check. 18.
An 18. And what exactly do you want? Where exactly do you want to be perceiving? What are you thinking about when your head goes to, like, when you, the daughter, think about this? What are you imagining?
I'm thinking that every time she's done this, it's just something she does. Every time Mel leaves a scene where something has happened that is, like, either involves the case she's on or has involved previous, like, coincidences.
Right.
I think, and this is one of those, I think she just ambiently does the corner check of the streets. Just
checking
kind of
for
like
exits, checking
for just checking for, like, maybe glance over shoulder, looking back, and just like ambiently checking her surroundings for things, like for.
Here's what I'm going to say. You glance around, maybe you're feeling like, is someone watching me? You got that feeling previously a couple times, maybe a tingling on the neck. With that perception check, it's not so much that you see or sense anybody, but I think you're looking back towards the printing press building, and I think your eyes kind of go down an alley, one of these little side alley streets, And painted on the wall, kind of so that it would be in view of with the printing press behind it, you see this hood shape, like the shape of a person wearing a hood, and then a large eye, like cyclopean style eye that fills up the whole hood. And you see the symbol painted on the wall. And you've never seen that symbol before.
Squint at it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Is Brixie paying attention?
Nope, she's walking. Honestly, she's probably like, yeah, I got the call and rushed down here, and I brought my favorite wrich, and she's kind of just that type of person where she's sort of small talking and not really doing much.
I turn back to her and say, Brixie.
Yeah, hun.
This is your district. You've been here.
Sure is.
I had a question.
I got an answer.
I've been over here a lot, but I haven't spent a long time here.
You're missing out.
You ever seen that before? I point back to the mural.
No, I don't believe I have.
Insight?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna add that. Okay. A 10.
You're good. You're good at reading people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily believe her that she hasn't noticed it before, but you're not necessarily, it's not like ulterior motives or anything like that. She's honestly probably just, you're not sure if she's just distracted or not paying attention or not sure what you were pointing at. But yeah, she definitely looks at it, and maybe what you notice on a 10 is you're not sure if she's lying, but she sure looked away awfully quick after you pointed it out.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I think I should say.
And I think
things are changing in the city.
And Marv in your head goes, ain't that the truth? And you make your way down, and as you round the corner, you are faced with an amazing sight.
Oh.
This massive, massive, massive building with garage-style doors rolling up on the front. A massive, big, bright, teal sign charged by arcane energy that says, Brixie's Auto Garage. And you can basically just see the bustle. There's batteries, there's vehicles, there's all sorts of stuff coming out here. She reaches over, pats you on the back, and she goes, welcome to my home. Come right on in. And then that is where we are going to end this week's episode of Dadventurous.
All right. That was a fun one.
Good. And we'll continue on with Brixie and mysteries and things of that nature as we go along. Nice job. I didn't think you'd actually finish that thing off, but you did a lot of damage and you got a crit on it too. So that was awesome.
I completely forgot about my Hexblade's curse, but then I looked at my features and traits and I was like, wait a second. You probably devised a way to make that to defeat that thing without fighting it, because you said that.
It wasn't so much defeat it without fighting it. It was more like I didn't know if you'd want to try to get skipping out.
Yeah, I think.
Or whatever, but.
I think she's more of that to just go
love
in.
That. I love learning these things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We will continue on with the tale next week.
Yeah. Leave us a like, comment if you're enjoying the story, and we'll see you next week.
We will see you next week
on Dadventurous.